Malmö, the last Scandinavian side standing in Europe. We've come to the coastal Swedish city of Malmö to kick off our coverage as the Champions League and Europa League spring back into life following the winter break.
Even though it still feels very much like winter here, some clubs already have half an eye on warmer climes of Baku and Madrid, where the champions of Europe will be crowned in just 4 months' time.
But before that, they must progress through the first knockout stages. And later on, we'll be catching up with a local football legend to get his opinion on the standout matches.
Atletico Juve.
Oh.
United PSG.
Very nice.
Liverpool Bayern.
I'm excited already.
And Ajax Real Madrid.
What a treat.
The list of mouth-watering UCL fixtures just goes on and on. But we'll start right here, where Malmö will take on Chelsea on Thursday evening.
But if your knowledge of the South Sweden minnows isn't quite up to scratch, not to worry, as we're prepared a handy montage.
Malmö inspired the dreamy pop sounds, the 90s chart toppers, the Cardigans, and is also the birthplace of Sweden's all-time leading goalscorer, Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Zlatan was reportedly close to quitting his football career at the age of 15 in favour of working at the docks behind me. Thankfully, he was convinced to erase and rewind that decision by a local coach at Malmö FF.
Malmö are the only Swedish team to reach a European Cup final. A solitary Trevor Francis goal seeing them lose out to Nottingham Forest in 1979.
Man City legend Yuri Rosler is the current head coach, but the most successful manager in the history of the club is Roy Hodgson. He won 5 consecutive Allsvenskan titles in his 5 years at the club, from 1985 to 1989.
Malmö then, a city of surprising football heritage.
Very surprising. But we're now heading 60 kilometres up the coast to Helsingborg, home of one of Swedish football's favourite sides. The football history books here in Helsingborg are dominated by one man.
The man described by Ronaldinho as his idol.
And by Vincent Kompany as one half of the toughest strike partnerships he's ever faced.
Yes, he was the last Swedish man to win the UEFA Champions League.
It is, of course, Henrik Larsson.
And we've met the statue, but we actually get to talk to the real man himself. So I think it's time we go and find him.
Can we start with your experiences in the Champions League? And they don't get bigger than your win in 2006 with Barcelona. Talk us through how it felt to play such a massive part of that game. I mean, you set up both their goals.
Obviously, as a kid, you dream about playing the big games, and there's not many games that are bigger than the Champions League final. Obviously, I was a little bit disappointed I didn't start the game, but yeah, when you don't do that, you're happy to do something from the bench, and I managed to do that, and I'm very pleased with that, because it meant a lot for me then, but it means even more now.
Like, how does that affect your mindset if you are starting on the bench, and then, you know, when you do come on, you want to make even more of an impact?
Coming on into that game and having the impact that I had obviously made me very pleased, because I wasn't sure that I even would reach the bench. Because Messi was there as well, but he was injured, so I think he picked between me and Messi in that game, and I think he made the right decision.
Your subs bench as well, potentially. You had Belletti, Motta, Iniesta, Xavi, everyone on the bench with you. When you looked across, like, the depth in that team was unreal.
If I just think of it now, when you mention it, I mean, the impact those players had on the game for the years coming after me, it's just fantastic. I mean, Xavi and Iniesta, if you look at 2 central midfield players, and you dream of having such midfielders in your squad or in your team, it's just, yeah, it's fantastic.
Some of the players you've played with, both Cristiano Ronaldo and Leo Messi, was there signs at the time that these two men could go on and dominate the next decade of European football?
When I came to Manchester, I think Cristiano was close to the finishing article, because he stopped doing the 17-20 oversteps before putting the ball into the net or crossing the ball. You could see that he was really good. He was good at Man U, but the steps he took in Madrid, I didn't think that was possible. And I trained with Messi, or he trained with me because I'm older than him. At Barcelona, you saw that there were potential, but obviously training with Ronaldinho, and you didn't think that anybody could be even close to him. And then passing him on the next few years was just fantastic. I mean, you could see there were quality, but obviously you wouldn't know that they would reach. Both of them would reach the high standard they set for everybody coming after.
Fast forward to now, Barcelona haven't had a Champions League title since 2015. They've only made the quarterfinals the last 3 years, and they've got a Lyon, I think, coming up in the next round. How do you fancy their chances?
When you are in Barcelona, it's not enough to just win the league. You have to be in the final as well, in the Champions League. And they have some new players that I thought, especially Artur, who came in the beginning of the season, I think it was. He reminds me a little bit about Xavi, and whenever you have a player that reminds you a little bit about Xavi, you always have a chance to go far in the tournament.
Looking at the squads overall this year, whose starting 11 would you think's the strongest of the clubs still in it to go on to maybe win?
Strong squad, Liverpool, I would say. I would say City. I mean, there's so many teams, there's so many squads that if they stay fit and they can play the first 11, they all got a chance. And then it comes down to when you play those games, quarterfinals and semi-finals and finals, it often comes down to what form the main players have on the day. I mean, they're so evenly balanced, I think, the squads, the main squads in today's Champions League.
Let's go over to Europa League, I guess, as well, and 2003 with Celtic. I mean, an awesome game for you with 2 goals, but then on the other hand, probably one of the worst defeats.
Yeah, obviously when you score 2 goals in the final, you think you're going to win. You should win, but that wasn't enough that year. And obviously, I'm proud of the goals now, but it was a long time I couldn't talk about the game. I couldn't watch the game because I was very disappointed, because I thought we should have won that game, but we didn't. So I only got a silver medal to show for that. We had a really good team with a lot of quality players and played some fantastic games in order to reach that final, but unfortunately we couldn't do it all the way, so to speak, and that still annoys me when I talk about it today, but that's the way it is.
This year it is packed full of top teams again. We've got Chelsea, Arsenal, Napoli, Sevilla, and of course Celtic have a tough test coming up against Valencia. What do you make of their chances this time round?
It's going to be tough. I hope that Celtic's going to have a chance and do something over the 2 legs, because I think the fans deserve something to look forward to, and to just have a chance or a sniff of going further into the tournament it's important for the Celtic fans.
Looking at fixtures closer to home, Chelsea have got Malmo coming up in Europa League, the last Scandinavian team standing in Europe at the moment. Is there a chance of an upset there?
Shouldn't be. It's been too long of a rest for the Swedish team, Malmo. They haven't played a competitive game in a very long time. So they shouldn't be, but that's the beauty of the game, you never know. We had another Swedish team of Östersund last year playing against Arsenal. They've done quite all right. So I hope it's going to be a little upset, because it's good for the Swedish game.
Hi Henrik, Duncan Alexander from Opta here. We all know you're a brilliant striker, but I've scoured our stats to come up with the ultimate football quiz to test your knowledge. I hope you're ready.
So, Henrik, that was Duncan Alexander, our stat man. He will ask you 5 questions relating to either you or your career. You ready?
I hope so.
August the 15th, 1992, the first ever day of the Premier League. 2 Swedish players played in it that day. Who were they?
Give me a clue.
Their initials are A-L and R-N. We just need one of
Roland
them.
Nilsson,
One.
Anders Limpar.
Yeah, you only needed one of them, but you've got both. Superb.
1 out of 1. Next question.
You, Henrik Larsson, played for Manchester United in the Premier League. 3 other Swedish people have done it. Who are they?
3 others, yeah. Lindelöf, obviously, Jesper Blomqvist, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Easy.
Straight away, 2 for 2.
No clue needed.
I'm sure you can remember scoring against England at the 2006 World Cup, but can you remember who was playing in goal for England when you put the ball past him?
He's laughing.
2006 World Cup.
Easy.
The memory's still fresh.
I think it's Paul Robinson.
3 for 3.
Who has won the most league titles? Option 1, Helsingborg, ever, or option 2, Celtic, while you were playing for them?
When you were playing for them.
When I was playing.
Yeah.
Just when you were playing for them.
No, Helsingborg.
He's got 4 for 4. It's Helsingborg with 5, whereas Celtic got 4 with you playing for them. Quite close.
Which current Premier League player is only 1 hat-trick short of Alan Shearer's record of 11?
Do I have to ask for a clue, or?
He's also a Premier League winner. That's a clue. Also won the Premier League.
He knows it anyway.
I know he knows it, but
just
he doesn't.
played-
Kun Aguero.
Indeed, it is Sergio Aguero. That means you got 5 out of 5. You're the first person to play our quiz. That means you are top of the leaderboard.
Yes,
All
come
5
on.
right. I think Duncan should have asked maybe some
Harder questions.
trickier
I think
questions.
they were quite tricky though.
When the draw was first made, Manchester United under Jose Mourinho looked a complete state. Now under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, they're winning games, they're playing with pace, the smile is back on their faces. I think United can get a first leg lead here to take back to Paris, given PSG's injury worries as well. I think United can win 2-0.
Real Madrid are in the best moment of the season so far, right before the Champions League. And you know what happens when the European champions are in their best. For me, they are the favorites. Ajax 0, Real Madrid 2.
Jurgen Klopp knows all about Bayern Munich from his time in the Bundesliga. Now he runs into them in the Champions League. Liverpool, without star defender Virgil van Dijk, mean that and a lot of pressure on Joel Matip and Dejan Lovren. Can they keep Robert Lewandowski, Klopp's former striker at Dortmund, quiet at Anfield in the first leg? It promises to be a hell of an occasion.
Of course, it will be a very tough match for Juventus in Madrid, maybe without Leonardo Bonucci, maybe with Chiellini a little bit injured, but Juventus are ready to win this game, especially with Cristiano Ronaldo, so my prediction is 1-2 for the Bianconeri.
The Europa League is an important competition for Chelsea. If they win it, they're in next season's Champions League, which is their minimum expectation for this season under Maurizio Sarri. But make no mistake, this is a David versus Goliath match, and Goliath is Chelsea, David is Malmo.
Manchester City have had a couple of problems this season, and particularly in the Champions League, away from home, against teams who are willing to attack them and not just park the bus. That said, Schalke is a game I expect City to win, and they might not have it all their own way, but I do think they will come through it. 2-1.
So this is the point where we find out whether our legend still has what it takes on the pitch. With 5 penalties against me, Johnny Small Hands Nelson.
Okay, penalty number 1, normal penalty, so take it however you want, and it is worth 10 points.
10 points. That's
Okay.
a lot of points.
Don't let me put you off, Henrik.
Easy.
10 points.
Your wrong foot, worth 20 points.
Wrong foot. I don't have one really.
Oh, confidence, I like it. Number 3, no look penalty, worth 30 points.
What am I supposed to do?
Move!
Now we have the Rabona, okay?
Oh, Rabona, with my hip. That's not
40!
possible.
It's a lot of points at stake, Mr. Larsson. Do you have the bottle?
Are you ready?
No.
Me either! But I score! I can only kick that way, you should know that.
The final penalty is a blindfolded penalty. This is for you. This is worth 50 points. If you get this one, you get all 150 points. No pressure.
Are you ready?
No!
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Woo!
I missed.
I didn't touch it, but it felt like I did.
Henrik, you scored 4 out of the 5 goals. You've got 100 points, but I'm going to give you the chance to get all 150 if you'd like to switch roles with Johnny Nelson and try and save one of his
Without
goals.
a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, I will take that on.
I don't know, I
Okay.
think he's feeling less pressure about this than I am. This is the Rangers.
Henrik, it's been an absolute pleasure. I think we all need to go inside and have a warm up, but whilst we do, here's the action to look forward to over the next fortnight.
This week, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Man United welcome Neymarless PSG. Roma face Porto, Ajax take on the holders Real Madrid, and Spurs host Dortmund.
A week later, Jurgen Klopp faces old foes Bayern Munich, Barcelona travel to Lyon, Cristiano Ronaldo returns to Madrid to face Atletico, and Schalke try to stop early UCL favourites Man City.
In the best of the Europa League action, Lazio faced 5-time winners Sevilla, Inter visit Vienna, and Napoli head north to Zurich.
Elsewhere, Celtic take on Valencia, Arsenal travel to Belarus to play Bate, and of course, Malmo host 2013 winners Chelsea.
So thanks again to Henrik Larsson, and thanks to you for tuning in.
The Champions League action is back tomorrow night, and we'll be back at the end of Feb to bring you all the build-up to the second legs. Until then, it's farewell from me.
And a Joe for me. Yes!
Bye!
See ya.